I think Saied has found himself under sustained international pressure ever since he embarked on his coup last year. 8 months on from the coup and the promised financial assistance from the UAE and Saudi Arabia, his allies, has not materialized. Tunisia's economy continues to be racked by rampant unemployment that has been compounded by skyrocketing prices of basic goods, by protracted negotiations with the IMF over a bailout, as well as Fitch Ratings' decision to downgrade Tunisia's credit rating, a damning indictment on Saied, who, despite seizing all the powers for himself, has been unable to deliver any effective policy or remedies to the issues that continue to plague the nation. Saied has found himself consistently rebuked by international powers that he has sought to win over. Washington continues to call for a return to parliamentary democracy. So does the EU. And it's rumored that the reason the UAE and Saudi Arabia have not been forthcoming with regards to financial assistance is primarily because they do not want to unnecessarily antagonize Biden, given their own already frosty relations with Washington. Despite being invited to the African Union and European Union summit in Brussels, Saied has found himself again subject to rebuke by the head of the European Parliament, who publicly tweeted that she had impressed upon Saied the importance of a return to parliamentary democracy. Such has Said's concern been over the international pressure that he swiftly dispensed with the pretense of separation between him and the judiciary and ordered the release of the head of Tunisia's Law Society ahead of a visit by the US Deputy Secretary of State, who had been imprisoned by a military court after warning soldiers that they would not be spared from justice for their support for Said's coup. And it's in this context that Saied has found himself under sustained pressure that an emboldened parliament is beginning to find its voice once again, as the speaker declares an open challenge to Saied by announcing plans to reconvene the office of the legislative body on Monday. The implication is that the office will move to convene parliament to end the emergency rule that Saied has imposed and thereby reassert its validity. Saied, in response to Parliament's announcement, summoned his Prime Minister in a televised meeting to insist that a Parliament session is irrelevant and does not matter. However, the discomfort among Said's supporters is clear, as fear spreads that the international powers that are pressuring Saied will recognize the parliamentary session, and that in itself would put the army that Saied relies on in a very difficult and exceptionally uncomfortable position as they move to consider two options that Saied does not want to see implemented, either a return of parliament or either a national dialogue that leads to early elections.